At this time, I'd like to introduce Michael Brunker Jr. It's not often that a son gets to brag about his dad. Usually dads are bragging about their children. But Michael and his dad have had a unique relationship. And Michael Jr. has learned all the lessons. And it was a great pleasure that I introduce Michael Brunker Jr. and have him tell you about his dad.
First off, that song, I need that Michael Brunker's The Man segment for my voicemail, if I can get that from the crew. That'll go well for me. But I'd like to thank everyone who showed up today. A great moment for my father in receiving this amazing award. Mr. San Diego, for a guy from Detroit, pretty cool. You know, if you get into conversation with him about his roots, he's definitely gonna let you know that he's from Detroit and he's proud of it. But I think part of that is because you know, that built up who he is today and, you know, the presentation that he's given you throughout these years here in San Diego. As you know, and a big part of why we are here today is my father, Mr. Brunker. He is all about serving the community. My entire life, all I know is my father serving for the greater good. Whether it was basketball camps, running those Gus Macker 3-on-3 tournaments, starting youth leagues like the Police Athletic League, Supreme Court, throwing community-wide Super Bowl parties, sending kids off to camps, fishing derbies, all that type of stuff. He did all that without caring at all about bringing in a profitable dollar for his efforts. His purpose and excitement was never about making a buck. It was about making a change and seeing a successful event start and finish that impacted everyone that was involved. He gets more joy in hearing that people love the event than anything else. Most of this work was pre-YMCA. Once he stepped into the executive director position at the Jackie Robinson YMCA, he was able to translate his citywide service efforts into this facility and community. This excited someone like him. Again, remember, he's from Detroit. He has seen those who can benefit from a genuine service more than others. So being in Southeast San Diego was a home for him. He didn't need a state-of-the-art facility or a big staff. He just needed a purpose. Inspiring those that came from hardship, saving lives, developing the youth, and creating a safe haven and outlet for the ones that needed it the most. This wasn't just a job to keep, a normal facility running. This was something and somewhere that he can make an impact. A lot of people from his early days know him as Coach Brunker, not Mr. Brunker from the Y or Mr. Brunker from the community, Coach Brunker. In being a coach, you always start that coaching journey at a place of volunteering. If anyone in here is a coach, you understand that, youth level, high school level, you're pretty much giving your time as a volunteer because your purpose of giving back to the kids is kind of what it's about. But even deeper than that, coaches like him would do more than required. Mandatory practices and games are one thing, but showing up to a rec center to further help any child who is interested in further developing their skills is a sign of passion. That passion led him to coaching at many levels, including the University of Detroit and the Detroit Pistons. Coaching is what brought him to San Diego as he coached the Aztecs at San Diego State. And I think this is where San Diego and him grew that bond that they have today. Having Division I and ABA credentials on your resume gives you the opportunity to shop around to keep yourself in the coaching wire. It's pretty impressive, if you kind of shop that around to continue going on. But it was something about San Diego that kept him here. With that decision, it meant he had to tap out of the coaching circuit. He coached us as kids and other kids around the community for a few years, but I think the development of impactful events and programs is where he found his groove. Starting programs and throwing events from scratch isn't an easy thing by any means. He knew he would have to find some ways to get help, and he developed his passion for one of his favorite things, donations. That's true. He loves donations. And and one thing about it, as he was raising that money for the Y, I'm sure we can all agree that his ability to raise the millions that he did was pretty impressive. But thinking about it from a reflective viewpoint of what I observed growing up, I didn't realize that him getting donations was really nothing new. Understand that to him, donating or volunteering isn't about asking for things. It's about letting people know his vision and like-minded service people or companies who enjoy supporting, having no issue giving what they can. It's about tapping into the resources. So looking back at it through the events that I was talking about earlier, he had a lot of donations from there as well. Our garage was literally filled up with fishing poles, shoes, t-shirts, hot shot spots, sodas. Mom, remember Halloween, we gave out soda to the trick-or-treaters as they were coming through because we had the leftover sodas. It was pretty interesting, the stuff that he got, but it was all came from a purpose that he could get that stuff to give back to the program and the kids and the event that he threw. So anyway, his vision of helping as many people as possible and living a life that is dedicated to the greater good of impacting people, specifically people and communities in San Diego, is what brings us all here today. So with that being said, Dad, we are all very proud of you, and we look forward to your next phase of impact around the city. We love you very much. Congratulations.
I think we found someone that's going to fit those shoes pretty well. Michael, thank you so much for telling us a great story about your dad.